Well, we're on the island of Mahe in the Seychelles. We have been lounging and feasting all day at a beach club. It's our second time here in like maybe 5 days, and it is so peaceful, so beautiful. If I look over there, there's people working on laptops. Other people are having like their third nap of the day. It's just you can choose your own adventure here, and it's pretty special.
Mahe in general and Seychelles in general. We're just on this like gorgeous, feels like vacation month in a sense. I mean, not to say that we aren't getting tons of work done, but I think a lot of us are having these like pinch me moments where we are seeing beautiful, stunning beaches, unlike anything I've ever seen before in my life. And I'm not exaggerating. And, just the backdrop everywhere we go, palm trees, boulders, wonderful beaches that you can like just wade in and walk through. Like, I don't know, it's fantastic. So we've been having a grand time testing out all the beaches of Seychelles. I had never heard of it in my life. And then even when I knew that I was coming here, I didn't look anything up. So I just was like prepared to be surprised. But yeah, I'm blown away. And I've already been telling my friends and family that they have to come here, even though it is a far trip. But I think it's worth it because I do think there are things I've never seen before in my life.
Yeah, I heard of it more of like a honeymoon destination, and there's definitely people here on their honeymoon, and we're just kind of living here for the month. But yeah, I was like you. I just like the day before was looking up what the weather was like. I figured it was tropical, but I didn't know anything more than that, and it's been like a big surprise. It's like you said, like the most incredible beaches you've ever seen. Like we thought the beach right outside our accommodation was amazing. And then we went to the next beach and we're like, it just keeps getting better. The vibe is really informed by the place we're at. So it's a lot of who wants to do sunset at this beach? Like which beach are we going to today? It is still like kind of small town vibes. Really on this whole island. I mean, there's not like a ton of like big city life. So it's maybe a chiller vibe. Like we're all in flip flops. We're all sandy. We're all sticky from the ocean. Impromptu hangs. I don't know. What else is the vibe?
Yeah, no, I agree. I was just saying it's a chill, definitely a chill vibe, but still, I haven't run out of things to do. Yeah. So it's very much, like you said, come and go of people saying like, hey, I'm going to go co-work at this cafe or I'm going to go check out this new beach today. I think our adventures are like some hikes during the week. And then we've been going to different islands on the weekends. So yeah, definitely chill, but not boring. Like still just, lots of activities and ways to mix and mingle with different people throughout the month.
Well, I mean, one difference is like we had the best boat day, I think, in Wi-Fi Tribe history. Like a massive catamaran that could have easily had like 70 people on it. And it was just us for the entire day, stopping at an island where a beach barbecue was already ready. Like Wi-Fi Tribe does a lot of boat days, but I think that boat day was at least top of my 14 chapters worth of boat days.
I know we keep saying this, but I do remember like the first cove that we got to, we went to an island of Ladigue, so it was like a ferry ride away. And we went to this little cove and no one was there. And it was truly one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. It was just this private little cove with like a beautiful palm tree, like laying out, near the sand. And that whole weekend, we kept going and discovering different islands. Like the next morning, we went to the Grand Anse, and we like had to bike through a rainforest to get there. And then we got there, and again, no one was there. And we were just like, how is no one on this most like amazing beach that we ever seen? And then from there, you like do a little 10-minute hike to get to Petit Anse, and then you do another 10-minute hike, and we got to another private beach or like kind of isolated beach. And then when we got there were like 4 men barbecuing fresh fish that they clearly had just gotten from like a tiny little fisherman boat that morning. And they were just barbecuing and they were saying like, oh yeah, we'll have a buffet at 1 p.m. if you want to join us. And we're like, we absolutely do want to join you. But it was kind of surreal how we just like stumbled upon it and had a day of adventure. And then just like uncovering these most, beautiful and amazing sights. So So
Yeah, and I think everyone in this chapter like came into it with like no expectations or even like foreknowledge of what we should do or what we were gonna do. So like that weekend, we all were just like, "Oh, we're going to another island," and then when we got there, it was just like one thing after another, like blowing our minds, and it was amazing. I mean, yeah, it was incredible.
yeah, I would even say because the day before that, so Ladigue is an island where you just use bikes. The only cars that they have are like trolleys that the hotels use to take people to their hotels. But that first day we were just biking, and the only itinerary we had was we were looking at Google Maps wherever they had a little camera icon to say like this is a lookout point. And so there were, I don't know, like 14 of us just biking around the island. We're like, okay, we're going to stop here, and then we'd see something that blew our minds, and then we'd bike for 10 more minutes and do that over and over. So I think to zoom out, that is something about this chapter is to truly come without expectations, because I think that's what's made it so wonderful. Is there hasn't just been that like, oh, I want to go do this, I want to do this. It's just been like super chill. Hey, I found this thing. Y'all want to come? And then like 8 people go with them. And, I think coming with that mindset of just being chill and seeing what unfolds would be the best way to approach it.
This was the first time I've ever done a weekend trip twice.
Oh, that's right.
Like we did Ladigue the first weekend, and then we just did it on the final weekend because it was that amazing. And it's a small island. You can bike around it in 30 minutes. But it was just as good, if not better. I had expectations, and it's still great.
And it felt like a completely different weekend
It
trip.
did.
We then went to a tortoise island that we didn't go to the first time, and we got to see these huge 250-year-old tortoises just roaming free. Like they weren't caged in any way. And then did another hike down to a beach and had a barbecue on a beach again. We did snorkeling that everyone came, not everyone, I would say 6 people came back on the boat, and they're like, that is the most beautiful snorkeling experience I have ever had in my life. I was
second
one of those
best for
people.
me. Shout out Komodo Islands.
We saw sea turtles and just gorgeous fish. So yeah, even though we repeated that weekend trip, it was brand new. It felt brand new. I just have really appreciated how people have showed up in this chapter, just coming with a kind of attitude of, it's like a laissez-faire, like let's see what happens, let's see what adventures we can stumble onto. And people have just been working together to plan things and to make sure things go smoothly and not to stress out about stuff. So I don't know, I've just really appreciated how the community's come together this month.
Yeah, it's been a big group effort. And I always think about if you're on a chapter and if one person takes the lead on just one thing that month, then the month is jam-packed and amazing. And I think that's kind of what's happened this month. Everyone has kind of stepped up for a different, whether it's one activity or a whole weekend. So we've all got to reap the benefits of that. There's a morning gym crew, followed by maybe a dip in the ocean, maybe a coffee. And then people start to maybe slowly start working, often before they're set. Most people here are US hours. So people will start maybe doing a little co-working by the ocean just to get some work done before they're technically supposed to start. And then what do people do after that?
Basically, someone found a beach club. I'm just going to lay all the details out because it's pretty amazing. You pay a one-time fee for the day, and you have a breakfast buffet for 2.5 hours. There's a gym that you can go to. They also have paddle here. And then we just kind of spread out throughout the day. Some people go to the beach. Some people will work at the cafe, the outdoor cafe area. Like Ryan said, take some naps throughout the day. And then you get lunch, and then you get a credit back towards your lunch. You get welcome drinks. We just were you keep giving us so much. This is such a great deal. So we did it once. I think that day, every single person came. There were 19 out of 19 people who came to that day. And then we're back here again because we loved it so much. So
I wouldn't recommend it to people that are really looking for a lot of nightlife. It's a quiet island, after 8 p.m. Not to say you can't have fun, but it's more going to be impromptu fun with the group, or saving your energy for the morning or the weekends. I've gone to the casino a couple times. You can have some fun there. I think it stays open till 1 or 2, but it's definitely more of a relaxed, follow the sun type vibe on this island. So if you're looking for big city nightlife, you're going to be disappointed. But if you're looking for gorgeous sunrises and sunsets and the most incredible beaches you've ever seen in your life, like, listen, I don't like the beach unless I can be comfortable on the beach. Like, I'm not going to lay down a towel in the sand and post up there for 3 hours. But I love Seychelles because there's so many options here for people like me that like maybe a little more bougie or comfortable beach experience. And there's literally dozens of them within like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's really interesting because I'm also not a beach person, but I've just been blown away by these beaches so much that it's still been impressive every single time I see a new one. So same. It doesn't, you don't just have to be someone who likes to lay on the beach all day long. It really is more about the experience of like seeing these new things and seeing these new like landscapes. I would say it's also not for people who are looking for a super adventure chapter because like I said, we did some hikes throughout the week, but there were some like medium-sized hikes. But really, the joy from this chapter came from being in community with each other and then discovering the different like elements of the island together. And like you said, just even some of the just natural elements of like a beautiful sunset, a beautiful sunrise, like finding these private coves, etc. Like that was the joy, was like uncovering that together. So if you're looking to do some like adventure sports and things like that, it wouldn't be here.
Yeah, it's like an interesting size island because you can almost like do everything in a month, almost. But you still are like, oh, now I know like what my favorite beach is or like my favorite beach shack. So you kind of have time to almost like become a local by the time the month is over. And that can be kind of satisfying that you're like, okay, now I know the best way to do this place because you can really wrap your arms around it without it getting boring. Like there's still some things we haven't done, but I feel like we know the place really well now.
Yeah.
Boating around Mahe for the first time and seeing just like how incredible it looked from looking at the island from offshore. That was one moment. But then like Ladigue, like as a group, we showed up there and like half of us had no idea what we were going to do or where we were even going. And then we just like kept going beach to beach to beach. And we all just kept getting our minds like blown out the back of our skull repeatedly. And we're all sharing in this what the hell moment together.
I just keep thinking of these moments where we were all amazed together. I think that's what it is we're not exaggerating that every time we turned a corner, we were like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is real. Like how many times we've said like, this looks like AI, so it's hard to choose one. Something that stands out was the day we were all in Pralle at that beach. It was like a sunset in Pralle. And I think it was one of the prettier sunsets because Pralle usually kind of blocks some of our view. And so we were on Pralle, which means there was nothing behind it. And it was just this gorgeous sunset that started to turn purple and pink. And we were playing like jumping in the ocean. And there were a lot of us. I don't remember how many, but most of us were there. And we started like letting the waves drag us into the sand. And then we were like, it was turned into a washing machine thing. And then there were ships out just like waiting as the sun dropped. And then there were the bats flying over. And we're just like, what is happening? This feels like it's not real, but it was so much fun.
Yeah, and like the horizon was doing this weird thing where like the earth looked smaller. Like it was almost like the curve of the earth was like closer to where we were. So it was like we were in like this gorgeous AI produced snow globe at sunset.
That's exactly right.
Minus the snow. And we're like, honestly, I was getting freaked out that we were in a simulation. It was like really surreal moment.
Yeah, it was so cool. Like I've been really transparent with my friends and family with like different travels, and this is coming from the United States. This is very far east and then very far south to get to. And for some places, I've been like, I mean, it's fine. Like there are other places in the Caribbean or whatnot that you could go to. Like if you lived in Europe, sure, but not, necessarily. But Seychelles, I've already told them, yep, if you can get your way over here, you will not regret it. I feel lucky that I got to see this, and I know that there are many people in the world who will never like have these images in their brains. So yeah, I feel really lucky.